Good evening, folks, and welcome, as Milan said, to this evening honoring Ted Dodd, which is entitled Cinq, the Ship. Great title, folks. Nothing better sums up Ted Dodd and what he's been to all of us than the metaphor of a sinking ship. I know every time I was with Ted, it was a truly titanic experience. And in honor of this Cinq, the Ship theme, I'm sure that Ted will grace us later on with a stunning solo rendition of My Heart Will Go On. Please. Excellent fan. Au 5 à 7. Oh, merci. En français seulement? Je peux pas pour le Baptiste Jean. Seulement en français. Parce qu'il y a beaucoup de dentifrice dans la salle de bain. Thank you. That's all I got. Actually, now that I think of it, I look pretty good like this. But en français, we've got a French event going on there. And Ted, about as artsy-fartsy a person as we all know, I actually do have a more appropriate French artsy-fartsy outfit. My greatest enabler of all, Marceline, could you help me put on my more appropriate outfit, please? As I said, much more French, much more artsy, and or fartsy. Okay? It's in the Louvre, Ted. It's Italian, he says. I don't know if you've ever traveled with Ted. I once witnessed Ted Dodd force about 300 people at an airport gate in Minneapolis to play Two Truths and a Lie. All in the name of, we're going to fly together, let's be friends. It was terrible. But Ted believes in community. We are going to play Signature Hunt Bingo. The problem is bingo, 5-letter word. Ted, no, only Dodd, close before. I've combined them together, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to play a rousing round of Teddo. Okay? Now, if you think you've heard that word before, that's true. Teddo was also the name of the oh-so-tight but still liturgically appropriate bathing suits that Ted tried to market in the late 1980s. Luckily for you, I am not the only one speaking this evening. We have several folks who are going to come up and bring some greetings, some kind words, I'm sure, about Ted. So as a proper MC, it was my job to come up with a theme. My first thought, John the Baptist Cinq à 7. Somebody else had that idea, so I had to come up with something else. I said, could we start an hour later and call it Seaside Week? No, it didn't work. So instead, I thought, we are such a technological society these days. And I'm a high school teacher, I see this all the time. People's attention spans are... Look at that stained glass. Sorry, short attention spans. People are going to come up and talk about Ted. If only there were some way we could put talks about... Ladies and gentlemen, tonight we are entitling TED Talks. That's right. Ideas worth spreading. Now, I just got that off the internet. Just search Ted Dodd. That was the first thing that came up. Someone has said if you stare at the bright light long enough, an image of Ted begins to appear. I don't know. And if I go on too long, actually blood starts to drip from the eyes. Never mind. It's a long other story. Anyway, I first met Ted through United Church Youth Events when he was the conference staff person, as we've been hearing, being in charge of youth. One of my first memories of Ted, and again, let's be clear, this is me. I cannot remember what I had for breakfast today, so take any memory I have with a grain of salt. Oh yeah, salt. I had a hard-boiled egg and salt. Thank you. That's what I had for breakfast. Anyway, one of my first memories of Ted, and it's kind of weird how this worked out, we didn't plan this, was the stunning white suit that Ted wore to conference that first year. To all of us young people, it was as if John Travolta himself had arrived on the premise. To this day, I still, whenever I hear someone use the phrase, don't wear white after Labor Day, I thought that was based on Ted's clothing in the annual Transcona Youth Retreat. But it wasn't just his stunning taste in clothing. Oh my gosh, there was Ted's dancing. Often to music from the movie Footloose. Ted was our very own Kevin Bacon. Oh yeah, I had bacon for breakfast too, thank you. Later on, Ted became the first member of the United Church clergy to defrock himself. I'm not sure that's the exact technical term for what he did, but he became the first, and still the only. Has anyone else done that? Okay, not Stan McCain? No, okay. To go from ordained to diaconal ministry. And while, we heard Debbie trying to say maybe it was her fault, Or we've heard Ted's sort of explanation, something like, it was more in line with my beliefs and sends a bold statement about the importance of diaconal ministry and blah, 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 blah. No. I think I may have stumbled upon the real reason for Ted's decision. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the absolutely true science of anagrams. An anagram, you rearrange the letters and you kind of find hidden meanings of words. I've prepared some slides for example. For example, if you take a look at William Shakespeare, you rearrange William Shakespeare, what do you get? Ladies and gentlemen, I am a weakish speller. Clearly, and that's, by the way, it's not like some of the letters. No, every letter. You rearrange Albert Einstein, look what you end up with. Correct. 10 elite brains. Coincidence? I think not. So I got a thing on this. I thought, maybe this explains Ted's decision. I put in United Church of Canada. Let's find out the anagram for that. Correct. A chanced haircut fondue. Given Ted's love of both cool hair and 70s cooking trends, could this be the reason for Ted's switch? Even more so, I was thinking it could be, but let's check. More startling, his next place of employment, the Center for Christian Studies. Rearrange the letters in that, ladies and gentlemen. Correct. Intruders, narcotic fetishes. The defense rests, Your Honor. I know that Ted has loved his time at the Center for Christian Studies. He's been on program staff there, it says here, since 1998. And now that he's retiring, I, for one, cannot wait to see his final report and find out what he's learned by studying Christians for the past 17 years. As the conference staff person in charge of youth activities, Ted was not just a part of, but was instrumental in setting up the conference-wide system of youth education and training events that changed our lives. It was empowering. It was an energizing environment where all of us, I think, became better. We were better leaders, better community members, better world citizens, and overall just better people. The things that Ted helped us learn about ourselves, about others, about our community and the world have stayed with us. And in terms of Ted, the person, social justice is the word I always think about. Inclusion, diversity, empathy, compassion, just a few of the things that were obvious in everything Ted did and that meant so much to me, and I think profoundly affected certainly me and many others. There's a line from the Talmud, the central book of Judaism, that they used in Schindler's List that says, whoever saves a life, it is considered as if they saved an entire world. I'm going to modify that a bit for Ted. And before you go crazy, don't worry. I taught in a Jewish school for like 15 years. I'm allowed to modify Jewish texts. I'm allowed to do that. I think for Ted, what would be more appropriate is to say, whoever changes a life, it is considered as if they changed the entire world. I feel fortunate to have had my own personal TED Talks for more than 30 years. And they are ideas worth spreading indeed. Thank you, Ted, for all you've done for me, for all of us, and in doing so, for making the world a better place. Thanks, Ted.